Hello and welcome to WDR TV, this mid-ish January type flavour. So, a lot has happened in the last week or so. Yes, a lot has happened. So, aside from the cast of National Lampoon's Death Camp attempting a coup in America, betted by the Nazi What's-It himself, subsequently been impeached, that happened. Then in the board game world, ISS Vanguard, which was the launch title on GameFound, which is the crowdfunding thing from Awaken Realms. I'm getting there. I'm rambling. I'm out of practice. It's been a while. That must been going well, done all right. It's maybe not done as great as it would have done as a Kickstarter, but I think as a settling itself as a thing in the new realms of crowdfunding, then yes, success. I think we would agree, probably. But yes, the thing anyway, at the end, there's huge drama at the end of it because they essentially boffed off a freebie, last final stretch goal, which was for a card from everyone's favourite Bond villain, Elon Musk, was on there, and half of the community absolutely lost their shit, and cancel culture came into effect, and they were like, we're dropping our pledges, we don't want wires, here. So yeah, I really a misstep on that one. Where do I sit on that? I don't know. It seems a little overreaction. Just don't take the card. I can see the point to a certain extent. I mean, Musk is a divisive figure, let's be honest. But, you know, he's doing the whole SpaceX thing. So I get the logic behind what they were doing, but maybe should have thought that out before. Anyway, so that all went shit up. I've got scribbles down here. So, yeah, the reason why I've got notes scribbled down all over the place, because what had happened is on Monday, when I was going to film this video, I kind of had contracted man flu over the last couple of days. A Sunday and into the Monday, and now I was lounging on the sofa with this actually prepping, writing. I do prep. See, I prep stuff. Was scribbling some notes down and some bits and pieces because there was lots of stuff going on. But while I was going to cover the video, and spluttering on the sofa, coughing away, and the wife says, "Well, are you all right there? You're coughing and have a temperature." I'm like, yeah, it's man flu." And she's like, "Are you sure? Are you going to work?" "Well, yeah, I was planning to." Perhaps you should go and get a test. Not an IQ test, a COVID test. So, hence followed that was me living in this room for the last 3 days, sleeping in here, really painful, waiting test results after I underwent the joy of a COVID test with things up my nose and stuff. Only to find out Wednesday morning that I do not have COVID. Which was nice. Just man flu, as I originally expected. But yes, having slept in here, so it smells a little bit faintly like a gym sock now. I have a bag of rubbish, lots of crap. I'm basically living off shit in the last couple of days, and man fluing in here. So there's probably a lot of tissue scattered. It's all nose based. No, just not the urge for anything else. But yeah, I did have a little play with Doom Imperium using the app on it. I do think it's solid. I do think this is really, really nice. Not to get too deeply into a review for this because I haven't played enough of it to do it. But I do love what it's doing. The theme's there. It's a worker placement with deck building. It does that quite well. You've got this little fight mechanism going on there. I know this one now. I pre-ordered this because I kind of felt this was going to happen, is that it would get some real buzz and go out of print or not be around, which I think has happened. So this is tricky to track down at the moment, but as I stand at the present point in time, I think it's really solid. I think it's really good. I know there's Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is a similar sort of thing, which was the other one I'd nearly pre-ordered, but I really didn't have the spare cash, and so I was like, I'll go for June because I like the theme. But I believe they're kind of doing similar things, and Arnak I might eventually weaken towards one day maybe, because it does look kind of cool. But as we currently are, I'm not playing games with anyone. So, you know, solo, it works solo. It works very well as a solo experience. I'm not a big solo player, but I was enjoying the solo experience. It felt a challenge against the AI, and it was working really well, and the app works really well with that. So, yes, anyway, that rambling, all that side is, no, I don't. I only have man flu. B, Doom Imperium does look very cool. If any of that floats your boat, a deck building, a worker placement with some conflicts in there, some kind of cool tech that, which meshes with the theme very well, then that I'm definitely recommending, even though I haven't really played enough of it. And I would love to see what this is going to do when you throw in a couple of people actually other than the AI, because it can get cutthroat, I suspect, quite vicious. So there's that. Man flu. And then, so yeah, I'd written stuff down, and now half of it's shit anyway. Mindleaf, well, we're talking about Mindleaf. Got my copy of Mindleaf from Andy Hopwood. I think it's about 12 quid on his store. I'll put a link at the bottom of the video. Really good. It's just been reviewed by someone he shared, and I literally looked at it 5 minutes ago and come sat here and I've already forgotten. But they liked it very much. I do like this. It's a really good two-player strategy. Think of it like tic-tac-toe on steroids with some vicious possibilities. It's good. It's a really good sort of two-player game. I don't play a lot of two players, but this is even one I can cajole the missus into playing, because it's relatively straightforward. It's just an abstracty take that game, and any opportunity she gets to be horrible to me in any capacity most of the time, let alone in a board game, then she will go with that. Recommended. Should have been on your stocking list. If not, this still treat yourself. The world is falling to bits. Have some Mindleaf. Blah 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 blah. Let's have a look what else was. There was this on Kickstarter. So yes, I don't remember the game. I just saw this. Twitter literally lost its shit. The wheels fell off Twitter the other day. All sorts of crap went on. There is a board game from a Chinese manufacturer. I can't think of the name of the game. It's in this picture anyway. This screenshot came up from the Spanish reviewer who did this. Seems a tad ill-judged, maybe, in our current climate. So yes, that then prompted a what the fuck is this, and a thing, and then he responded on Board Game Geek. It didn't actually really respond that well, and didn't really diminish the flames. All kind of kicked off. All got a bit. Yeah, racial stereotypes in the video. Probably not a good call. I'm not at any point thinking that. No, let's not do that. Let's not black up or do any of that. No. So that happened. So that was interesting. Then the news, board game news, rambling is going on. So there is a new Terraforming Mars standalone card game, the Argus Expedition or something like that. Go to Kickstarter. Why? So you own on the Kickstarter, and it's a card game, though technically Terraforming Mars was a card game with a bit of a board, but was a card game. I don't know. I kind of think I'm done with Terraforming Mars. I enjoyed the base game. A couple of expansions, very good. Prelude's very good. The app, actually, I never did what we've been played. I'll do that in a minute. But the app is very good for it. Actually, it's not bad. I'm relatively in regards to this. I heard there's a legacy version of Terraforming Mars in the works. There's been teased for a few years now. That definitely something I may well be tempted by, but that's pulled off very well. And there's a dice game coming of this. I don't know, it feels a little bit like we're slogging that particular pony to death. We shall see. I know there's quite a good design team. Jeff Engelstein, I think, was involved, or his son's involved in this, so I don't know. Then there was this, which is the Slay the Spire board game. Now, I love Slay the Spire. I've spoken about it before. It's a fantastic app. It's like a deck builder, rogue-like deck builder of you traversing this tower, killing monsters and leveling up. Some crazy shit levels of leveling up. Just a really good, solid game. If you like deck builders, give it a shot. It's on Steam. I think it's under a tenner. I think it's well worth getting. I have a massive amount of play out of that. So a board game of it. Initially, I was like, oh, and then kind of afterwards went, oh. It's coming from a publisher that has no real prior history of doing any board games, as far as I could see. So that kind of is a concern. And what would you do with it? Is the X one? I mean, it's a deck builder. Deck builder board seems sensible. And there was discussion, I think something like a bit clankish. Yeah, that could work. But then we've got Clank. But how would you get all the crazy amount of stuff that you level up and do is the question. So I then kind of come down on the fact of, I don't think it'd be very good. It will be like a like a version, taking a flavour of Slay the Spire, kind of isn't going to be Slay the Spire. It's going to be a bit like XCOM, the board game from Eric Lang, which took the idea of XCOM and kind of abbreviated it into a board game, and it does that very well. It's a real-time game. It's one that I played initially and was like, oh, played it a few times after. I haven't played it for a while, but it's actually a solid, crazy fucking insane real-time game. It was really well done. In fact, I never used the expansion. I've got it in the box, never used it. But the base game, the problem is with it, it initially didn't come with a rule book. You only get the rules off the app, which was annoying, fuddingly annoying, because then every time you got out to go and play, you were like, oh, I can't quite fucking remember. We're going to have to do the tutorial. Oh, yeah, I remember now. So there was that. And it is real time, so that's always the issue of a real time game, is that do you know how to play it? If you played it regularly a few weeks running, then you can just dive into it and play it. But it's good. I've diverted from what I was talking about, which is Slay the Spire, which I was talking about XCOM. So ignore that. But yes, that kind of thing, like the Bloodborne card game, even to a certain extent, a kind of approximation of Slay the Spire, but not really Slay the Spire. Which leads me down the alley to go, just buy the fucking app and play that. So yeah, there's that. I think that's most of the stuff there. What I've played, so we've missed that. Come back round, we'll swing back round to that. Bit of Hearthstone. We've still been on Battlegrounds, a bit of Hearthstone. The last couple of weeks, we've had a crack at Terraforming Mars, the actual app, the digital implementation. It was cheap on Steam, so we all picked it up on the Sunday Night Crew. We've been playing that. Played a couple of weeks of it now, and getting the hang of it. It works all right. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Pretty solid thing. It's just had Prelude added to it, which helps immensely. So there's only the real base and Prelude on there. There's not all the other expansions. I kind of maybe like to see colonies or something be implemented into it, and then I'd be probably happy. But yeah, it works very well. Plays about the same length of time as the board game, I feel. Tony. But yeah, solid. We're enjoying that. We've got Root as well. We all picked up Root. Ben's picked up Root. Me and Robbie played a game. I've done the tutorials of Root. I've played the board game like once, I think. I like the idea of the asynchronous forces and how that all kind of intertwines. We played a game against Ben the other day on the actual digital board game on Steam. And he absolutely whipped our ass. Wasn't helped that Robbie had disconnected his mic for 30 minutes, hadn't noticed, and had been apparently having a conversation with us, even though we were there going, Robbie, your mic's disconnected, we can't hear you. Apparently, he'd still managed to have some conversation with that. Worrying. And he was playing like a numpty. But I liked what Root was doing. The digital version of it's very well put together. I really like what it's doing. Just need to play some more of it. So at some point we will. It's just that learning process of getting round your head around it. And then there's Fury of Dracula. They finally released the Dracula version that you can now versus Dracula. So I'm hoping that drops in price on the Steam store, and I can convince at least the Sunday night crowd to go for it, because I really quite like Nancy Fury of Dracula. I like Fury of Dracula. Digital version by Nomad Games is very nice. Now having the option to play as a group against Dracula, lovely. Liking a bit of that. Yes. Other than that, obviously I put out some more of the top 50 the other day, and then dropped yesterday or maybe Tuesday. It's hard to tell. Very confusing. Anyway, dropped the other day was Charlie's Who Dares Rolls, which he made. I'm sure he said some horrible things about me. How rude. But no, he's done that, which is more RPG-centric. If you've listened to the podcast, then you will have encountered Charlie before. He's a big RPG thing. He's our RPG guru. He does lots of articles on the Who Dares Rolls website. You're going to have a sip of coffee. And now he's done some video content. He's done one video at the moment. That's his first one. He's going to do some more, hopefully. And he's going to be digging, similar to where I bounce around talking gibberish for about 20 minutes here. He will do a similar thing, but probably talking more sense about RPG games and not so much like a schizophrenic meerkat, just launching from subject to subject. However, stay with me. Anyway, that happened. That came out. Have a look at that if it's of interest to you. So there's all of that. Then PortalCon, that's what I was going to mention. PortalCon is online on 23rd of January, which is my birthday. Oh, very nice of Ignacy to organise that for me. So it's on Saturday. They're going to be announcing 3 new games, I believe. that was it, really. 3 new games are getting announced. So keep an eye on PortalCon. I do like Portal. I wonder what he's got up his sleeve. Some of the Portal games, some good stuff. Robinson Crusoe, we really enjoy. That has happened. What else has gone on? We covered movies. I don't know. I watched Tenet the other day. Tenet left me a little bit going, ooh. Don't know. I quite like Nolan stuff. I liked Interstellar. I liked Inception. I thought Inception was very good. This felt like he was trying to do Inception again, because Inception was kind of a Bond movie. They've said a lot of time this is a Bond movie, kind of his version of it. Inception felt quite Bondish as well. Yeah, I didn't think it was that great. I need to watch it again, but it felt a little bit. The problem is, it's got this whole process of they're going backwards in time through the movie, and they play backwards. It's kind of being quite clever and a lot of it's practical, which is kind of cool. But you spend so much time going, oh, they're doing that to do that. You're not actually focusing on the big set pieces, so it kind of feels a bit weird. Maybe watching it subsequently a couple of times, which I might need to do. I don't know. The jury's out on it, but of all of Nolan's movies, it's the one I've walked away from at the moment going, oh. So yeah, I can't necessarily recommend it. I found it a bit laboured and not that great fun. It didn't really feel like a Bond movie. A Bond movie usually feels like a bit and this just felt a bit like so there's that. I also watched something much more entertaining, is Road Games. Road Games. Not COVID. Road Games is a 1980s movie. I think 82, I think it was. It's one that I long was interested in as a child. We're going from one of my old movies, Charlie. I'll go old man movie time, so you can switch off. Yeah, Road Games. The poster was kind of this. Sells it as kind of a slasher movie of the 80s. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it. It's got Stacey Keach in it. Jamie Lee Curtis is in this, hot off of Halloween. So you're kind of proposed to think this is a slasher movie. The setup is, the trailer kind of steered you towards that. Stacey Keach is a truck driver, and he's potentially wigging out. He's picking up hitchhikers. There's someone murdering hitchhikers. Jamie Lee Curtis is a hitchhiker. That's kind of the setup for the movie. And you think, oh, and you see the poster, and I kind of went in initially thinking it was going to be a slasher movie. Directed by Richard Franklin, who did direct Psycho 2, which I think Psycho 2 is really fucking good. In fact, in some ways, I think I enjoy Psycho 2 to Psycho. That's so damning. For me, I've now totally thrown my film nerd credentials out the window, but I really like what Psycho 2 did. Anyway, Road Games. So that's the setup. Watched it in the 80s. Eventually got to see it maybe late 80s. It's not an easy movie to track down. An exploitation movie from Australia as well, we will say. And then my initial viewing of it, I think it turned up eventually on BBC or something, a good few years ago. Watched it and was a bit, left a bit underwhelmed. I was like, because it wasn't the slasher horror type movie I'm thinking of. Watch it again, and it grows on you. And actually what it is a really great thriller suspense movie. It's essentially Rear Window, and what Franklin did, he loved Rear Window, and they took the idea, and the scriptwriter took it, which his name escapes me now, Evan DeRoche or something like that, who also scripted The Fantastic Razorback, another Ozploitation classic. So they did Road Games, and essentially it is Rear Window on the road. Keach is in the truck. He's witnessing all the different people he passes on the road, and it's really cleverly done. The script is top notch, and he's kind of apportioning them his own version of nicknames for them because of what they're doing. On this long haul across the outback, he suspects that he's seen a guy who's the killer, that's just set up at the very start in this very sort of 70s Giallo type affair. It looks very cool, very 70s Dario Argento kind of moment when the killer first strikes at the start of the movie, which is never revisited again. There's no blood virtually in the whole movie. It's a lot of it's very much as hinted at, and essentially the movie is Keach trying to convince people that this guy is the murderer. No one believing him. He picks up Jamie Lee Curtis. She's involved in it, not in a huge role, but she's in there, which is quite cool. In the outback, as I say, and it's this whole sort of more of this Rear Window situation. Got some really cracking moments in it. brilliantly well written. It's fantastically written. The script, Keach is fantastic in it. I love a bit of Stacey Keach. If you've never seen him in Ninth Configuration, a William Peter Batty movie, fantastic. We'll mention that another time. But yeah, Stacey Keach, brilliant in that. Road Games. Grant Page is in it as well as the killer, and he's a stuntman. He was in Stunt Rock, if you ever watched it. It was an insanely deranged Australian movie, which was essentially a live concert movie with Grant Page as the main guy in this band, interspersed with rock music and just stupid, crazy stunts that Grant was doing. Weird movie, great. It's on Prime, I think. And then he was also in Our Man from Hong Kong, I think it was, which is like a Kung Flu Australian exploitation movie with, it's got quite a big cast in it actually, and the James Bond dude, but he was rubbish. And Our Majesty's Secret Service. Oh, I forgot his name. He was in it anyway. But I've gone off. Oh my God, what a rambling mess this has been. Road Games. Watch that. Very good. If you've never seen it, might be one to hunt down. It's Indicator, I think, put this out. It's a limited set. Yeah, I think it was them. Comes with a booklet. It comes with lots of extra features on there. It's a nice transfer, and it's a curio. It's an 80s curio. If your Australian exploitation movies is your thing, if you've seen Psycho 2 and like Richard Franklin's stuff, that's an ultimate Richard Franklin movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, Stacey Keach, if you like Stacey Keach is in there. It's kind of a cool, I believe Tarantino has since come out saying he enjoys this, so well done for you, Tarantino. That's that. Old Man Movie Time, Baron Munchausen, been reading that, that's good fun. At some point I'll maybe set up a game of that online, because that's easy. Bullshit games, we like them. And then finally this came the other day, which was just my assets and hazards, because I saw GF9 was selling them. It's all the plastic bits to go with the Aliens game that I've not played much of, but it's quite good, what I've seen of it. I think at this juncture, as I've rambled incoherently for far too long, I think we'll draw a veil over this. I think it might be, this has been Who Dares Rolls. This is some point in January, I think. Coming up is the last couple of bits of the top 50. Charlie, I'm sure, is going to put up some articles or thing. He's going to be doing stuff. Zine Quest, I know he's into that. Port of Con, I'll report back on that, which is there. I've got a couple of days left, and then I go on holiday for 2 weeks. Huzzah! That's it. That's everything. Have a love. Keep safe. Stay well out there. I'll catch up soon. Yes. Bye.
Bye.